Alright, so here we go. Welcome to another video of Ather here. We have a good match, good couple of matches here that we're going to go over. And also get into some of the stuff that we have, or I have kind of put off. Have I been putting it off? Nah, I just haven't been able to. I had one video and I needed another video to just kind of talk everything through. Just not enough content to cover the discussion, essentially. So this first match, pretty straightforward. We're going to use the Tana team here. Tana is back. Thankfully, I was able to fit her onto a team. I found that when I put her on the team in the surprise mechanic hole, I wasn't able to really utilize the team to its fullest potential, because having her come out on turn 3 is just not as beneficial as having her on the map at the start. So I kind of just didn't use that team, and I noticed it, so I put her on this team this week so that I could actually take advantage of what she has to offer. So that's what we're going to do here. Go up warp and just get to smacking. And then the other team, I've made some adjustments to it since Edelgard is now a thing, so she's on that team, and we're going to take advantage of it from there and see how that one plays out. I'm not quite sure how it'll function it, but yeah, let's see how it goes. So let's start off with Edelgard, since she was mentioned. I think she is fantastic. Yes, probably not the most powerful unit, but you don't typically want that out of a unit that can get 3 actions. That's potentially game-breaking. We had a little bit of that with Valentine's Edelgard, because Valentine's Edelgard was really, really powerful. So I'm glad that they didn't go 100% into that direction with this Edelgard. Well, maybe they should have. You could make an argument that the emblem unit should be stronger. So I won't disagree with that. I see the merits in that case, but I think it's adequate. I think it's exactly what it needed to be power-wise in terms of scaling, and I think in terms of longevity, I think she'll be good because it's action economy. Won't fall off until they release something that start taking away your actions. Kind of like the Heimdallr thing. Well, the Heimdallr thing is a little bit more anti-gameplay. I don't know. Until they start taking away your actions, it's going to be good. So she's just going to be good. I like the boosted damage based off the defense. That's going to age well. Similarly, I keep thinking of going back to Brave Seliph, but I don't know. I feel like there's just a skill missing or something to make him as good as he needs to be. But yeah, I think it'll age well. As units get bulkier, she will continue to be able to put out decent damage. And typically her role isn't going to be to kill things. The Gale Force unit is just not meant to be the primary initiator. They can be for the moment that they're released, but eventually they will fall into the secondary role or the secondary spot and be a follow-up option to help clear defenses. I have been just looking at her kit. I really love that C skill. I think it's fantastic. I would love to put that on Tana, if not for the fact that Tana kind of wants Deadly Miasma because she's a flyer, and it's just the best thing you can put on the flyer to clear the terrain. But if not for that, I'd probably go with it. The A skill, fantastic A skill. It gives you an option to not use Deadly Miasma on your flyers, but then I kind of like Deadly Miasma. But yeah, it's a fantastic A skill. I hate that it is locked to the movement types, that it's what, melee only, flyers and armors. I think calves are ostracized or not included in that selection there, and I can't think of a reason why. I think it would be great for calves, even though they have Flared Sparrow, but I mean, why not give it? This is the upgraded Flared Sparrow that I was talking about, and it's finally available. I dislike that it's not available on range flyers, but maybe they'll put something out for them eventually, but for now, this is what we have, and I like it. It's a bigger range. It's more reminiscent of Winter Edelgard and Boulder, both of whom put out a pretty large range for the flame terrain. I like it a lot. and I think it's gonna help out a ton against the Corn Terrain, which is the best emblem ring in the game right now. I think the Corn ring, in my opinion, I think that one is definitely the best, if not second to maybe the Erica ring, because I always put that on BK because you just want to keep him alive. But yeah, those are up there. Yeah, don't like the fact that it's, you know, locked out of some movement types, but I do like it overall as a skill, and as an addition to the game. It needed to be here because the grass terrain, the corn terrain, really has slowed down the game quite a bit. It's such a pain to play against. It's like the first thing I look for nowadays. It's like, where's the corn ring? If there's no corn ring, then I can actually play the game. If there is, then I know that a match is going to take at least 15 minutes, which a lot of the times it shouldn't. You know, maps used to take like 9-10 minutes. It's added, the corn ring alone has added an additional 5 minutes to the match. It's really annoying. And then when you compound that with, you know, just how bulky some of the units are, Heimdallr herself, you know, trying to navigate that whole thing, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. But yeah, those two things, great addition to the game. The fire terrain and the movement. So yeah, this is the second match. I want to say, yeah, this is the second match. This one was also, you know, really fun to play into. This was a rematch, this one, against a player who actually knows what he's doing. This Yunaka team was very he played really well with his Yunaka. He was able to take out, basically use Yunaka as an Omni tank and pretty much solo my team. It was pretty cool how well he played with that Yunaka, and she actually was able to take out Emblem Mike, which was surprising. Pair up on Yunaka, that's one of the big things. Like, I was looking at her kit and I was just thinking, man, she either needs desperation or more bulk. And I came to the conclusion that her B skill just was not the one that you'd want there. So yeah, I ended up just started to consider some options, and it was really looking like pair up is what you wanted on this Yunaka. And you know, I saw it for myself from the defense replays that it works really well on her with her speed, and it gives her some additional bulk. It's just overall a really good combination. So yeah, you'll probably see that replay at the end of the week or something. Played really well, very impressive. So yeah, we're just gonna try to do it back to him here, which we did do. Played it very carefully. He has some exposed positions here on his defense. That spot where Holder is exposed, so if you can get up there, that's typically a free kill. Not covered by a magic save, who is Heimdallr in this situation, but she's not within range, and she, like, I really don't know where else he would put her. Heimdallr needs to be there based on his layout here. Maybe you could have put Valley in that spot and then moved Holder to the back. But then you'd have to move. Yeah, it could probably work. But then where would you put Freyr? Just looks like he's kind of locked into this one with the positioning that he has. You could probably put a structure there, which would help him out, at least against someone that's not using the safety fence like I am, because this team his defense has incredible range. So if you don't have the safety fence, you're pretty much dead on turn one. So it probably would have stopped me from playing the way that I played. Just a little bit of a hindrance mainly, but I think we probably would have still been able to get it done if a structure was right below, right there, because that's the spot that I'm going to go below Holder. Yeah, and we're going to make it work. But yeah, back to Edelgard. So I think the skills that she's introduced into the game are very good. I think
I'll deliver.
The emblem ring as well is very good. It's almost exactly what I was asking for, if not for the fact that they limited the number of units that have access to it, which I never like when they do that. I think if you're going to make an emblem ring that isn't accessible to everyone, it limits its usefulness, which in turn limits its longevity. Rings like the Marth ring will always be useful and will always have a place in the meta, just because of its +1 cooldown. It's universally useful on every unit. There's no restrictions to it, really. So and also because of Shield Fighter, it's always going to be usable because of that as well. And then the Sigurd ring, the fact that it's not included on range units, but then range units didn't really need the movement boost. But still, it would have been good to give it to them since we have units that can cover three range now. So why not just do it then? It's essentially like I was saying, doesn't future-proof the ring itself.
What now?
So that's my main issue with the Edelgard ring. I just don't think it's gonna have. I think no. I don't. It's not that they limited its potential to last longer by restricting the amount of units that have access to it. And I don't like the fact that they did that, because it's not like we're not going to get to a point where we're going to get at least one more action on our units before the game ends, I think. I don't think Edelgard and Golvig are going to be the only units that will monopolize the extra action economy for the next. I think we're going to get another unit within the next 3 years that can do what the Golvigs and what Edelgard does, and I think it's probably going to be another range unit. So I don't think there's a problem with giving the option to range units to have 2 actions. 2 is fine, because I think we're going to get to that point pretty quickly with just like power creep. You're going to get a range unit that can attack. We already have Leaf, Legendary Leaf, and Leaf ults that can just do that. So I don't think it would have been a problem if they had provided access to the Edelgard ring. To range units. I think it would have been fine. And I'm saying this because I want to use it on Shez. And I don't see a problem with being able to use it on Shez. We are actually able to get that extra action as well by partnering with Sharena, and I don't think it would reduce the value of Sharena. It would just free up some team options and some team building options to allow us to have a bit more flexibility in our team composition. So I didn't like that exclusion. And I think it limits the overall longevity of the ring itself. But otherwise, I think the ring is very good. And I think actually it reduces, I would rank the ring a lot higher if it was able to be used on range units and not just melee. So I don't like that move. And I don't like when they do that overall. But yeah, it's still pretty good.
That's right.
Definitely interested to put it on some units. Currently I have it on Thor, and I'm gonna see for Light Season. The obvious solution is to put it on Hearthfelger because she's just that good. So that's probably what I'm gonna do, even though I find that I sometimes don't get into as many combats with her as I should, even though she's really strong. So that's my target. If not her, then I'm gonna put it on the Fur, who is just insanely strong. Probably opens up the room for her to use something like Hay Slice or Arch Rival. I've been noticing that Arch Rival is actually really good. I've been swapping between Arch Rival and Gust on my Ryoma, and he performs so much better with Arch Rival, even though the cooldown makes he doesn't get it sometimes on the first combat, but he still gets a lot of damage reduction from it. It's insane. Arch Rival is a really good skill, even though the cooldown is so high. I wonder if we're going to ever get to a point where we have 6 cooldown for a special, I mean, we can, Ather on that Noe, because of this, I forgot what breath it was that gave +1. I wonder if they're going to play with that a little bit more. There's room for them to do things like that and increase the special cooldown required for you to get your specials off. It can go up to even 7, just because if it's a really, really powerful special, I don't think that would be a problem. But that's for the future of the game. For right now, Edelgard is really good. I thought a lot of people saying that they were not high on her, thinking that she was mid, but I think she's a really good unit, and I'm excited to use her.
I'll take care of them.
So look out for some content with that. I think I was considering putting her on defense, but I don't think she has the bulk to withstand hits. Additionally, I was very intrigued by, like, somewhere around a little bit after BK, I was really wondering how they would counter the whole reflex meta. What they would do to stop the to stop or counter reflex from being the most powerful support skill in the game, in my opinion. Frozen is probably up there as well, but reflex is just so good because it helps you kill things. And patience is something that I did not like. Essentially, forced desperation is something that I did not anticipate being the way that they would counter it. It's a very interesting counter to the whole reflex meta, and it's something that I didn't even consider because on Ike it's really bad. I mean, old brave Ike is really bad because he just gets stopped by Hardy Bearing. But you don't actually want, like, if someone has Hardy Bearing, even if you have Hardy Bearing, it doesn't mean that you'll be able to beat the unit that's using patience. They're still going to have really high bulk. So that's just something that I was just looking at it. I'm like, this is a really good counter to what Reflex has put into the game for the past 6-7 months. And it just makes it, like, in my opinion, it kind of looks like they planned it out, because this skill kind of came out of nowhere, and it's kind of like now the best thing in the game, or one of the best skills in the game, just because of the power that comes with it and what it is able to do in terms of reflex and stuff. So I'm very high on it. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the applications of it and how many more units. There's going to be a ton of units that have this skill moving forward, just because reflex is so strong, and there's already a couple of units in the game now that have reflex just built in as support, or the bonus effect as well. So there's a ton of reflex in the game. So it's going to be, and the fact that it's a skill, patience is a skill, so it's going to be easily accessible to a lot of units. So reflex is going to be in the meta moving forward, and patience is going to be in the meta moving forward. So it's going to be an interesting balance between those two things to see how unit builds and unit types are released to kind of counter each other. And is this the only thing that they're going to introduce to counter reflex? Like, I'm honestly thinking if there's something else that they could potentially do aside from making the units bulkier to just live, like Boulder, which I would be against. I kind of like how they've done it with reflex, because it's not dependent 100% on with patience, because it's not like 100% dependent on your bulk. Had a little bit of trouble there taking out or picking the unit to take out. I kind of have to leave someone alive here, and the option was to leave Freya alive just because he's a melee unit and he's not going to double Veronica. The Miracle on Veronica is very good for that. So that's an option that I'm going to try to manipulate moving forward here. And also, Valley is going to be a thing, so you won't have to run, Valley in the wrong season anymore and lose a ton of lift. So New Year's Valley, oosh, that art, she's so cute. She looks really cute in the art. I'm probably going to summon for her as well. That banner, I'm excited for. But let's put that off to another video. I don't think I have enough time left to get into everything that's surrounding that for this video. But for now, I think I've covered all of the Edelgard stuff. I think she's a good unit. A lot of controversy. I saw a bit of controversy around her saying that she's just not good enough. And also the banner was really bad. But for me personally, it was okay, because I did skip a couple of banners prior. So some of the units on there were pickups that I was okay with getting. Like I said, I think that Hanoka, the rearmed Hanoka, is also really good. I just have to figure out a way to use her, or where to use her, or a team composition around her. I think there's potential there. But yeah, a lot of good stuff is on the banner. It's just whether or not you've already pulled for those units. And the Diamant, I got him. He's kind of okay. To be fair, he's kind of okay. He just, I'm sure there's some build flexibility there that, in the future that can be adjusted, and he'll be even better unit. But for now, he does really good. Like, he's really strong. He just wasn't as strong as he appeared to be when he was first released, and that seems to be a trend with all the Diamons that we've gotten so far. But that's it for right now. I'm gonna play another match so I can talk more.